Collin Murray-Boyles is a Toronto Raptor. How we feeling, fellas?
Nothing?
No, he did it. This is Basketball Island. Hein, Hambone, Wes, Fab. Obviously, we're just doing that for the bit because honestly, like, and I think I speak for all of us, I don't know. I like the pick. Like, let's start with you because the Raptors picking a 6'6" defense first wing with Draymond comps. Like, keep it in your pants. But tell us your thoughts.
I mean, I'm happy that they went back to their roots a little bit. Like, you know me, I want guys who can guard. I want guys who are versatile, do the dirty work, and I think CMB fits all of those traits. Switchable defensively, grinder, left-hand dominant, which is interesting too. I do think that he brings a lot of intangible that this Raptor team needs. Point of attack defense is great. I love the tape on the guy. Again, we're not draft experts here, but if you're trying to tap into what the Raptors DNA is, that's what they always have been too, is just a team that can fly around defensively, switch at will, and just grind you down. I could talk a little bit about his offense and why I think the Raptors drafted him, how he fits, but I love the defensive intangibles already.
Go ahead. Let me look at the starting lineup, look at the expected rotation for the Raptors. IQ, offense. RJ, offense. BI, offense first. So you have all these guys that their strengths are obviously on one end. Well, guess what? Hito Turkoglu, there's only one ball.
What was different for you tonight in terms of just setting the tone with your game in this game?
Ball.
So I think it's good to have somebody.
Ball in your hands.
I think it's great to have somebody who can make an impact on this team that doesn't necessarily need to be ball dominant. But the other thing that I think is worth pointing out, we just went through the playoffs right now. Look at how OKC's built. Look at how Houston's built, having Kevin Durant come in the door. Orlando, a team that's a top 5 on FanDuel to win the championship. These are all defense-first young teams. Yep. And I think that's going to be a helpful way to build and then find your superstar players down the road. At pick 9, you're never going to have a franchise-changing player come through the door.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know exactly how he's going to pan out or any of these prospects are going to pan out in the NBA. It's all a guessing game, but he represents the type of player that I want on my team. Yeah. We obviously, you touched on the defense. I mean, John Hollinger said he could be the best defensive player in the draft, and that includes Cooper Flagg. But based on what I've watched, he's a better offensive player than he gets credit for. Mm-hmm. The big knock on him, the three-point shooting, that hopefully can come with some coaching. But he's a talented offensive player. Like, if you watch the tape on him, he has a handle. He's a good finisher around the net. He has a floaty touch. He can punish smaller guys. He can take big guys off the dribble. Like, he can post up in the middle of the paint. I mean, there are things you can work with there. So I think the two-way skill set is there.
Well, it's also of the offensive game, and we all heard the Draymond comps. Very, very good passer as well. Mm-hmm. What worries me a bit about the offense is he sort of played, if you watch his college stuff, he plays offense like a college big man, where it's like you're 6'6", but like girthy.
He's burly. And
you can kind of overpower people. And I don't know how that translates to the NBA as much, but all things considered, like he's finished like 70% or 65% at the rim. To Wes's point of you're not going to get a superstar at 9, I think history has shown us SGA was like 11. Giannis went. You can find a guy. Here's my question. Does the upside of someone like Malawach, was that more tantalizing than someone who, I know he's 20, but Murray-Boyles feels like more of an instant contributor than, say, the upside of Malawach?
So we were on this pod gassing up Malawach because of what he kind of could represent,
Could bring, yeah.
A shot blocker and a three-point shooter. And I think those kind of guys are unicorns in the NBA. I don't think that Masai has enough time to watch that kind of blossom in Toronto. We can get into that's a whole other discussion. Yeah. I think at this juncture, if the Raptors, they do the work, they bring these guys in, I think what they identified was they need to get back to their identity, which is a defensive roster. It's what helped them win the title in 2019. You need guys who can play both ends of the floor. Why I like CMB more than someone like Malawach is also feel for the game. I see IQ when he plays. I think he's.
You mean ball IQ?
Ball IQ,
not
yes.
Not
yes. Quickly, no. I see basketball IQ when he plays on both ends of the floor, but especially defensively. I also think the Raptors are kind of employing this. Like, if you look at how they played last year, they empower their players to do multiple things on the floor on offense. pass, dribble, shoot, initiate offense, DHOs, running sets out of the elbow. It's a very egalitarian offense. So in that way, someone like CMB I think fits more than someone like Malawach, though Malawach's end game potential could be something like Brook Lopez, which you have a defined role for on a team. I think CMB is a little more like marble, like blank marble, blank slate that you can mold into something
Also,
potentially special.
Isn't the Raptors timeline right now win now? Like,
Well, I think they're positioning themselves to try and win games. They're not trying to bottom out next year. Just to your point about the offense, and what I do like from him too is he moves around a lot, which helps service the rest of the offense, screening, moving, cutting. Like these things matter, especially in the way Darko deploys his offense, and in the modern NBA. Man, you need guys who aren't just standing around watching the ball. Like you need activity.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'll go on record saying, like, when that happened, when they took Demon at pick 8, I was jumping up and down because, like, wow, I can't believe Malawach actually made it.
Woof!
Yeah, big
Woof, Brooklyn.
airball, right? So obviously, I thought Malawach. There's 2 reasons why I liked it. I think I was enamored by the fit. I think that's part of it. Obviously, fills a need that very clearly the Raptors will need come down the road. But the other thing is, you're just asking about win now versus in the future. I don't think the Raptors are a championship team come tomorrow. So why do you have to prefer or pick a guy who is win now versus somebody who can set you up for the win window, which probably is 3 to 5 years out from now? To me, Malawach probably fits that a little bit more, and you take a gamble with somebody like that who can be a good fit to what you already have. But as you mentioned, is there an implicit timeline that we don't know about? I don't know. But like, I don't think the Raptors win now windows next year. Maybe 2-3 years from now, but not right now.
But I truly believe that the Raptors just think CMB is better than Malawach.
Yeah.
I don't think they're like, wow, this guy's gonna help us next year, so let's pick him. They probably just think he's a better player.
They
clearly do.
he's 20 too. Like,
he's not a senior here.
Yeah,
we're talking about a guy who played 2 years of college.
But he is more NBA ready while also still being young and having that upside.
The thing about Malawach, the ceiling might be higher. I don't know, but you have to be very patient with him. Next year, I wouldn't expect much from Malawach at all. I mean, I think he's going to spend a lot of time in the G League.
We said it before. With the trade of Mark Williams, dude, play 16 minutes a game and just find your footing.
Will he play? I mean, they have 3 centers now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Apparently, they wanted every Hornet center they could find plus Malawach. So good job, Ishbia.
So
you have 4 shooting guards and 3 centers.
Yep.
Let's talk about. We'll get to the disaster of some of the other teams in the draft later. But
Pelicans.
Yeah. Hey, Stephen A. said it. Joe Dumars must know something.
Can we just get the picture of Dumars with the 2
The 2
phones?
phones?
Yeah,
Oh,
just,
yeah.
I don't know, man. He might need a 3rd phone
Connor,
or
Connor,
Get
get on
the
that.
phones ready. Here's what I'll say. Let's talk about what social media was on fire about, and we joked off the top. The reaction, in the long run, I don't think that means a thing. Like, this guy will come to Toronto and whatever. Everybody loves the city. I do think initially, though, there was some that, like, I saw the quotes after I'm happy.
Dude,
It's just like,
no.
You're breathing life into this.
okay, then explain that reaction.
It was disbelief. It's I made it.
Yeah.
I made
Really?
I don't know.
Okay,
Well, you know
But then he looked
What are you, a body language expert?
Give me
No,
the-
he was like,
No,
he's like,
I'm the body. Give me the ball on this. First of all, if you watch his pre-draft interviews, his words actually said something different. He came to Toronto, it was his first workout. He enjoyed the city. He did all that stuff. Bobby Webster also post-draft said that they don't like to tell their people when they're drafting them, and he even joked like, well, we should probably leak a little bit more than we do. Like, I think it was a moment of disbelief. What happens is, like, Barstool and all these social media warriors, I know you live there, you bathe in it. Like, dude, like, you can give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, it was more like, what the like, this is happening type thing. That's how I took it. But again, I'm not reading into the
But did he
nonsense.
not look
The fact
pissed?
you're breathing life
Yeah, well, I
into
think
this
we have to talk about it.
infuriates me. I hate it that
But
we're
that's
playing
part of the story,
in the
though.
mud.
Dude,
It's not.
Hold on. The Raptors themselves made a post about it. Like,
Because-
because people like you were on social
Hold
media
on.
barking about,
Hold
oh my
on,
god,
hold on.
You.
Did I post
Yeah.
one thing about this? No.
No,
I'm
but
just
you're
saying,
breathing life into something.
You're posting in reality.
we breathed life into it with the cold open.
So this is a pure speed over substance debate right now. Listen, man, it's very easy to pick, like, it's the same with all the SGA free throw merchant stuff. It's very easy to just echo chamber and see, oh, that's getting a lot of likes. I'm going to do the same post right now because I want the same attention. I want people to look at me. No, the reality is, man, take a breath. Give the guy a chance to speak. Oh, but his words don't mean anything. Oh, no.
Yeah.
His reaction matters more than what his explanation is. No. He's telling you what happened, but literally that gets no attention.
But isn't that what everybody would say
But
in
literally,
that situation?
but you get my point, right?
Yes.
That gets no attention. All the attention is, oh, this guy hates him, man. Yo, send him to the G League, man. Show him what's up. Blah, blah, blah.
No, that's ridiculous. Like I said at the beginning, I think
It's a
in
Toronto
the end,
thing. It's
he
a
will.
Toronto
Yeah,
thing.
I think a lot
It's
of
an
times.
inferiority complex
No.
that lives and breathes
Hold on.
in Toronto.
I think we're-
how Americans interpret Toronto
Yes.
and how sometimes how Canadians even interpret themselves.
And I think it's also the southern United States, how certain parts of the U.S. look at Toronto.
Sure.
That's all. And all I'm saying is his reaction looked like somebody who was pissed.
I know, but
that's it. That's all.
But he was interviewed about the Raptors a month ago,
Yeah.
and was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'd love to play there.
Dude, that's what I'm
I
saying.
like their players. I would fit in so well."
did-
So it's a non.
And we did the cold open because it's a bit.
Yes,
it's a
exactly.
fun bit. We're going with it. You actually believe
I
the
don't.
words.
I don't. I'm just talking about it.
And you're talking about Chloe
Can we
Kitts
actually
too.
just talk about the Raptors again and the player?
Yeah, we had to bring
that's
this up.
fine.
We need
Put a
to
bow
put
on
Hein
it.
in
He's
his
happy
place.
to be a
And honestly,
Raptor.
Lundberg had a good quote about it from him too. Like,
Yeah,
he's
no.
saying all of the right things. It's just something that has to be discussed. It's a part of the story. If the Raptors themselves are doing it, sure.
I hate you for this.
Well, now, okay, let's look ahead tonight. Pick 39. What are you guys hoping for? Pick 39.
Okay, hold on.
This is a quick turn.
I'm not even gonna pretend, man. What am I supposed to about pick 39?
You guys are jumping all over me. I had
no.
to transition.
Can we? Okay, if we're talking about Murray-Boyles in terms of what if you're pushing back on why maybe it's not a great
Sure.
pick? Can you give me a devil's advocate?
Hold on. Let me. I got. a
Hein
couple-
wants the ball.
No. I have a couple notes on this, and this is
On
just-
what, pick 39?
No, not on pick 39.
Don't pretend.
No,
Let's
I'm
not pretend.
The only thing that concerns me is, I kind of touched on it before, is when your offensive game in college was built off of mostly offensive rebounds and touch around the basket.
Sure.
I worry about you being 6'6", trying to do that in the NBA. However, what I do really like is what you said, the fact that he does have a bit of a handle.
Yeah.
But we don't, like Wes nailed it too. You don't need him to have an offensive game.
Yeah.
You are here to just be a defensive stalwart. And yeah, if it takes some time for the offense and you learn to shoot, great. But like certain line, can you play him and Pirtle together?
Okay,
Because
so-
what does that do to your space?
So there's a difference between not needing him to have an offensive game and not expecting a lot from him on offense right away. So I think what he will bring right away is defense.
Yeah.
He had averaged almost 3 stocks per game in college. I think what I like
over 3 stocks, I think.
So what I like about him most is he does a lot of intangible things. So just at the NBA Finals, we just watched a grueling 7-game series.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the plays that dictated those games were hustle plays. I watched someone like Lou Dort, who's flying around for offensive rebounds from the wing, crashing the boards, doing all the gluey things that matter, like switching on defense, reading alley-oops before they even happen, right? Like just understanding the game, the knowledge. And again, I'll reiterate this: the basketball IQ with him, I think, will allow him to survive on offense. So yes, while
But Lou Dort was also hitting threes.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Well, he was shooting threes. He was making them early and then stopped making them, but he is fearless,
He has
right?
the confidence to shoot them. And it's like, can you play him and Pirtle together then? Let's just ask that.
So you're asking those questions. I think we will see. At some point, I think it would be ideal if he can learn to catch and shoot for 3. I think the way he was speaking about it, I think he's finding his way in that regard. I trust the Raptors system only because in the past they have helped develop guys with their shot. OG Anunoby, I don't think was a great shooter of Indiana. He's now become a very potent 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
Pascal Siakam is hitting threes in huge games in the playoffs. Hit some for the Raptors in 2019 as well as a third-year guy. I think with him, I build out, right? Do you have a good base? 7-foot wingspan, 6'6", 6'7", tough guy, defensive monster, versatile. Can he grow? I don't think his shot's broken by any means. I'm not a shot doctor.
Yeah.
I don't think it's broken. So to your point, Fab, I do think that's a part of his game that can expand. And if it does, now we're talking about a potentially special player, which is why I appreciate the swing.
Yeah, and if you're looking at the fit next year, I think if you play defense and you have a high IQ, I think you can at least find your way onto the court and be a neutral, maybe a slight positive as a rookie. You do those things. So he's obviously going to come off the bench. So what kind of lineups will he work with? That's up to Darko to kind of see, like, will he work with Pirtle in a lineup as a 4? I don't know, but I think him and Scotty with maybe IQ. Well, this brings us to the RJ Barrett question.
Yeah.
Is
We'll
RJ
talk
Barrett
about
even a Raptor next year?
We'll talk
Yeah,
about
I don't know. Well,
The point I was going to make was I think a part of the calculation that a lot of the fans are not thinking about, and there's a wild card part of this, I think it's also the front office showing their hand about how much confidence they have in BI's offensive contributions next year. Sure. A guy we haven't seen play a single minute. I think he absolutely changes their offensive complexion come next year. So if you have some of these offensive-minded players first, having somebody like that as a change of pace or like bringing that intensity on the other side of the ball, I think having somebody like that is better than going after a guy like Trey Johnson had he been available at that spot. Like, it kind of fits with how you've built this team so far. BI is a major wild card for how this is going to play next year. And we all know kind of the inside intel on this. We know the front office really believes in him in terms of his offensive abilities. They believe that there's a ceiling that this guy has that we haven't even seen yet. So getting a guy like CMB, you get somebody like that who gives you a little bit more intensity on the side of the ball that you need 5 guys collectively. One ball on the other side.
And Bobby Webster alluded to this as well post first round. Raptors are still in talent acquisition mode. Yeah. Like, we can start talking about fits and all that. Like, just add talent to this team. That's what the BI trade was. They bought low, very low.
It was a free agent acquisition, not in free agency, because that's how the NBA works now.
Yeah, it was a pre-agency trade. So I think, so we're talking about fit and all that stuff, like how he's fit next to Pirtle. I want to see a funky ass lineup next year. I want to see Barnes, Ingram, Mobo, CMB all on the floor together. Like, let's get crazy. Like, why not?
To Fab's point about he won't be starting, I think he'll close a lot of games though. Maybe I think he's definitely on the floor to close a lot of games because the switchability.
There's flexibility. Okay, I do think if you put together him, Mobo, Shed, like that bench unit, they may not score, but man, they're gonna lock people down like that. They might just play people to like a grinding halt.
One thing and Simmons always says this, like coming out of the finals, I look at a rookie, it's like, could you be on the court in the last 5 minutes or part of the game rotation? He seems like the type of guy who could be on the court in those major situations in playoffs. And you always say this, draft for someone who can play playoffs. And that's exactly what he feels like.
And like Raptors team last year that we watched was a very endearing, enjoyable team because we believe that they worked hard.
The first half of the season was.
But they played super hard. Like they flew around. Like a lot of the young guys have a lot of spirit. We gave Darko a lot of credit for how the team still continued to play hard down the stretch, even when we wanted to lose games. Wanted them to lose more games, but they, so I think to me this guy kind of fits in that. And now you're telling me that Brandon Ingram, to Wes's point earlier, like, such a big X factor for how this team's going to perform going forward in the win column. I think it's going to be very interesting to see a lot of young guys potentially contribute to winning in an Eastern Conference that a lot of people have varying opinions on with strengths and whatnot. But yeah, and if you want to talk about like how we project this roster going forward, it's very interesting.
Perkins said it yesterday. This is a top 6 seed in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people think that, by the way.
Now that we've done our deep dive on what they do with the number 39 pick, let's look ahead.
Hold on. So 39, again, this will be dated by the time. I think if you're talking about prototype, swing the same way. Add someone you think can guard.
Upside. Yeah, high upside.
Guard, best player available. If they want to get their center, if they want to, like, this is the moment to pounce on a center, go for it. We're not going to speak on the exact person I think they should draft.
Draft a foreign guy, and then we'll be tantalized and assume that the upside's there.
Give me someone who has defensive potential, and then hope to teach them
So
offense.
Let's talk then looking ahead to free agency and all of the potential moves. Windy promised us a big fish. Doesn't seem like that big fish is coming. So
promise who, the Raptors?
He said he got us all excited, right? And then when we saw Tim McMahon at the finals, Tim McMahon and Bontes both are like, that ain't happening. Yeah. Like Windy knows stuff, but that ain't happening.
They poo-pooed it.
So are RJ and Quickly both on this roster a month from now or 2 weeks from now?
I say Quickly is more likely to be on the roster.
I think Quickly will be.
I think Quickly.
Barrett, I don't know. We'll see. Like, the Raptors don't have flexibility to really sign anybody at this point, except they have the mid-level, I think.
Yeah. But they can't use it unless they want to go over the tax.
So there you go. Yeah. So if anything drastic's going to happen, it's going to be through a trade. I personally don't think Giannis is even out there, so I wouldn't even think about that. I think it's more of, do you maybe trade Barrett for something that maybe fits a little better with the guys you have now? Like, put it this way, like, do you want Murray-Boyles playing more of Barrett's minutes?
Yes.
Right?
I think we all do.
No, I'm just saying that's a natural kind of like...
that sound is the comment section, just getting at us.
Yeah. So, I don't know, can you get a guy maybe who's like a better shooter for Barrett?
Cam Johnson.
I think Cam Johnson was the name that was thrown out there. Like, so would you do that in a vacuum? Cam Johnson for Barrett straight up.
I would like
do that?
to think that you could get more for Barrett, But like, I don't know. Like, what's the market for Barrett?
I don't know.
We don't know. We
Yeah.
don't know. But I think what's interesting about the market, I think with this Celtics teardown, what you're seeing is there seems to be a lot of activity out there flying faster than we'd expected. So I just feel like every single team seems like they might be willing to play ball, depending on what's the offer out there. So we were promised like a pretty volatile offseason. I think it's already proven to be that
based
up
off
to
of
this
what
point.
Cronky's saying, Jokic could be out if this like
Dumb.
that's how but that's how serious the
So-
second apron stuff is, man.
So that's what I'm saying. So I
Cheap
was like, I
billionaires.
wouldn't be surprised if the Raptors are involved in some sort of activity. Like, do not count
RJ
them
and
out.
what for Derek White?
I mean, that'd be the dream. I can't believe that they were even mentioned in the Derek White
I mean,
stuff. That's
I
a dream.
question the source on that, but like, man,
I mean,
I
would've been a
love
dream.
I mean,
that.
there's a world where you just kind of keep everybody, see how it fits,
So it's
and then
interesting.
you roll
So
into
I think
next
that's
year.
the more likely scenario. But all right, let's project the starting lineup. So quickly, you're paying him 37 mil. He's got to start. Barnes got to start. Ingram got to start. Pirtle got to start. Okay, so there's 4. RJ in that starting lineup, I worry about the fit there, right? Just in terms from a shooting perspective. Quickly is the only guy you can really bank on. Ingram has shown a propensity to shoot threes.
You're gonna need him to do
well,
that more of that,
and they will need him to do that. He can't hold the ball on the elbow and just go to work all the time.
Yeah.
He needs to be able to fit more as a cog in a wheel. If you're asking me, someone like Grady Dick, Jacoby Walter
slots into the 2.
slots into that 2, a low usage player that can catch and shoot for 3.
Yeah.
To me, that fits better. I would love to see RJ, if he's willing to take the role. I know he was the leading scorer last year, 21 points a game, whatever. Someone's got to score on bad teams. Come off the bench and be a potent
He's
weapon
not gonna
there.
do that.
No.
I worry about the ego play.
He's not
there.
going to want to do that.
I
And I don't
understand
think
why,
he just,
too.
he doesn't think he deserves to be coming off the
Sure,
bench.
and I get it. I understand.
And
that,
to
right?
his credit, he's probably earned himself.
A
to be
wise man once said, "How many former MVPs come off the bench?" Connor,
Yeah.
cue up Iverson. Like,
I don't know any former MVP that come off the bench. I don't know any 3-time scoring champion come off the bench.
Yeah, like
No, I mean he's a starting level player.
or
he
he's
played
the
like
sixth
that
man
last year.
on a
on a
championship
great
level
team.
team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, listen, man, if Manu Ginobili come off the bench, anyone can. That's kind of my philosophy. But
It's not who starts; it's who finishes. That's all that
precisely.
matters.
But again, like in terms of just fit in the starting lineup, I think we all can agree that's a worrisome spot. However, if he does come in off the bench with Jamal Shed, with CMB, with Abaji, Jamison Battle, like Mobo, like all these guys,
You got a bench mob 2.0.
you got some spark there, and you have a microwave potential.
He's the
type of
Benedict
scorer.
Mathurin of this team. Like, that's exactly the role he'd play.
Ben plays a little bit of defense, but
But there you go.
Well, I
That's the
understand what you're
role.
saying.
Shout out
That's the
Ben
role.
Mathurin, man.
Yeah.
love Ben Mathurin.
Who
Of
had a
all the
great
Canadians
show.
Shout out
finals.
us ever since we left him off the cover of the
I know,
Canadian
he
episode.
heated up.
Not
For
for
the record, I wanted him on.
Hey, I also
we want
we
want
were
commission.
both overruled.
I was overruled. Either way, where it is like, so to me, RJ, I think that's a very interesting conversation in terms of fit. I would love a 3-and-D, a shooter, a low usage guy slotted next to quickly Ingram and Barnes personally. So I think that's gonna be
So
very interesting.
who's the team that wants RJ then? Who's the
Well,
who can you
Portland is
talk
favored
into?
right now to acquire him. I don't know quite know why, but
Yeah.
but Portland is the favorite if you look at some gambling websites. I mean, listen,
FanDuel doesn't have a market, so therefore it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
let's fair point. Yeah, let's take our let's go objective, right? Let's put our objective hats on. All right, RJ
Wait,
Barrett.
does that mean you have to take your Mario hat off?
Never. It's stuck to my head. It's glued. 24 years old, 20 points a game, former like 3rd overall pick in a
And
draft.
also, like, was like a I'm always tantalized by like the guy who was the #1 high school player, but like, yeah, was the #1 high school player. Also, the passing really improved. this
Passing
year.
improved, like, you know, just I think his ability to slash, to score. Like, I'll give RJ some love in that regard. I also don't want to, like, if I'm the Raptors, I'm not into selling low on the guy. I do think there are cap
I
machinations
don't think
that
this
need
is
to work
selling
out.
low after this year. I think he had a good year.
What's his market?
I don't know, man. I
Like,
have
so
no clue.
we
I don't
just-
think anybody knows.
We pontificated Cam Johnson straight up for RJ, and like there was a little bit of like
Raptor fans would riot. I feel like based off of how they talked to us in the comments about RJ, Raptor fans ain't. But who cares? Raptor fans also were pissed that DeRozan got traded for Kawhi. So like, what do they know?
exactly? But then also like, you know, we mentioned Derek White. That would be an amazing.
I mean, he's a fit on every 29 other
every
teams,
team
right?
exactly.
So that's fine.
but RJ definitely not close to his value either. So
would need to
it's
be like-
probably somewhere in the middle.
RJ
I'll
future
get, yeah,
first.
I'll throw a team out there that probably won't hear. I think RJ is kind of what a team like Milwaukee needs right now.
Yeah.
They have nothing. They have
Who are they trading?
No, I know. We're talking about fit. Where does he fit?
Yes.
Like a team that's just kind of empty on playmakers other than their star guy to have a good secondary playmaker with no Dame. RJ, absolutely the type of
I think
guy.
Denver would be able to use him off the bench.
Honestly,
Denver could be
I
used.
think
Yeah.
the Pistons would be a fun little fit for him too,
Also
man.
interesting. It's just, but like again, what are you getting back for that?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
So that's the thing, right? With the Raptors,
Give us Kyle Kuzma. I want him.
no,
I want him. I
please.
want him.
I'm out. I'm out on the Raptors.
who are you,
season
Joe
at that point.
Dumars?
Yeah.
What is it, Joe Dumars
Bring
on
up
at
the
the
2 phones
pod?
pick again.
All right, we're gonna talk about that trade.
Oh no, you mean we still have to break it down. Number 39. Okay. Biggest loser of the draft.
The Pelicans.
Yeah, I think we're universal in this, right?
No, Brooklyn.
Look,
How do you whiff on 5 picks?
how do you make all 5?
How do you go
picks?
0 for 5?
I like Traore.
No,
I like Danny Wolf.
the wolf pick I like.
Wolf is fine. Demon, huge reach. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that was a
You probably
reach.
could have. I mean, the point guard who can't shoot is physically like not
I thought
strong.
Malawatch was going to the net today. I think that made the most sense, especially
Yeah.
for a team with their timeline.
Actually, I'm actually higher on Demon's like offensive potential. His stroke doesn't look bad.
high center of
he
gravity
shot the
kinda
hell out of it in the combine. Like I know.
Yeah,
So-
we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
I
Definitely a reach.
I don't know if I believe in trying to draft 5 guys and bringing them into
No,
a
it makes
roster.
Crazy. That's crazy.
But you're right.
First team ever. First team ever to do that.
You're right. The Pelicans
So,
are,
here's
I
my
think,
questions
the
about the
universal
Pelicans.
pick here.
Yeah.
You're moving up. You're giving up an unprotected first to move up 10 spots. But also, what the hell does the fit of
Hold on.
Queen and Zion gonna look like, man?
Sure.
Like,
So you glossed over that. The New Orleans Pelicans gave up an unprotected 2026
Yeah, next
first
year.
round pick to move up 10 spots in the draft. The Pelicans were a bottom 10 team this
now,
season.
hold on, though. Let's give some context. Going into the year, I think Pelicans win total was 45, 46 and a half.
Understood.
Snake bitten by injuries more than any other team. I think we were high on the Pelicans if healthy, but from the beginning of the year, and their team is like you counting on Zion to be healthy is a whole other thing.
Understood. However, you don't trade unprotected picks because of the opportunity cost of what that could mean for your franchise. The Pacers.
You realize he's on 2 phones at the same time, right?
I do. The Indiana Pacers luckily traded for their 2026 pick back with the Pelicans during the finals. And Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles like 3-4 games later.
Yeah.
You don't know what can happen. When you're giving up unprotected picks, you no longer have a safety net in case the worst happens. Your best player on your team is Zion Williamson.
But literally just to move up to what, pick 13? To move up 10 spots.
Malpractice. I don't understand it. Maybe Dumars needs a third phone, dude. Like that's nuts.
The fit of Fears and Jordan Poole.
Yeah. Well, but
I just don't understand the roster at all and what they're
the Fears,
expecting
Jordan
is going to
Poole,
happen.
and then Zion and Queen. It's like you're an island of misfit toys.
Dude, there's a few of these like fit moves. That's one. Phoenix, same thing. Trading for Williams, drafting Malawatch. Like, there's been a few of
was
these
so
boneheaded
dumb.
moves. I was like, okay, you got 2 of the same person. New Orleans doing the same thing. You got like 2 of the same person. Derek Queen and Zion, kind of similar as well. Like, I don't know what we're doing here.
I kind of wanted Queen to end up somewhere better than that.
Oh, for sure.
And I don't like that he ended up in that situation. The Pelicans are, I think they're in danger of, like, they might be on the brink of collapse,
Yeah,
man.
get the-
That's
don't
already,
Don't worry, they have their future picks.
that's a
Don't worry.
very depressed market already for that team. And Dumars has kind of just come in and,
Well, Stephen A. said it on the broadcast. Joe Dumars must know something. He must.
well, you know what? You know what?
he
Okay,
knows something.
I just say it out there so that we can play back. Maybe he knows that Zion's gonna be on the way out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Maybe that's something
But
he's not
that-
cooking in the summer.
I know, but you still don't give up that pick to move up 10 spots.
Hell,
Now,
no, hell.
okay,
No.
let
I'm
me
just
def-
saying it's weird.
Let me defend some of the draft selections, all right? I think Jeremiah Fears,
Oh,
I think
I think that's a
undoubtedly
good fit for-
like
Good. It's
the best
fit.
ball
No,
handler
but
in the
fit.
draft.
It's just pure fit.
Yeah, the fit is weird, but like again, if you're going best player available, I don't hate it. I don't hate Derek Queen either, as a best player available mentality.
Yes.
It's just now, okay,
Fit.
we're looking at fit, especially because you traded away your pick.
Yeah.
like fit will matter if
Not
you're
even
trying
that.
to win.
You trade away your pick and a pick in that draft, too.
If you're trying to win,
2
fit
first.
matters. If you're trying to build the team, it doesn't necessarily, and that's why I feel like I'm just completely I'm just confused by all of it. All of it.
Okay, so then if we're talking winners, like the Heat once again. Like, where's the Jesse
Yeah.
Pinkman? They can't keep getting away with this. Like, they just they know what to do. The right guy falls in their lap, they're gonna make that right
he
pick.
fell in his lap, so like that's how it goes sometimes in these drafts, and so good for them. Like
His YouTube mix was so tantalizing to me. That guy, like, he plays with flair and can like hit big shots.
What do we think of Ace Bailey to Utah?
So you talk about winners. I was gonna say I like that and Walter Clayton Jr. for them. I like the combo of those two picks for Utah. Whether, as Jack said when we were in the war room together last night, Ace Bailey, at the end of the day, you play for the organization. So yeah, it doesn't matter where you want to play. You are coming to play in the professional ranks now. You play for a professional basketball team. Show up.
I actually don't think that's a terrible place for him to end up either.
It's a great fit.
They got a good coach. I mean, they kind of that's the player they kind of needed.
Yeah,
so he's gonna have all the runway. So
it's a
I think we can in 2 years see an interview with Ace Bailey who's like asked about his draft day reaction, be like, yeah, you know, I was immature at that point. I love Will Hardy. Like, I love being here, right?
Clayton too. Like, we talked about it during the tournament, how much we love Clayton just based off of the shot making. I don't know. That's exactly what Utah needs.
And you know what? Shout out to Ainge. He's smart.
Yeah.
Bailey, what are you gonna do?
Which one?
You gonna sit out?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, now
his
there was-
son must be a savant.
So, and they specifically said we are not tied to Jaylen Brown. There was a direct quote from Ainge's son saying we're not a part of this.
I mean, it'd be great to acquire someone like Jaylen Brown. Like, I
still
think
they're
if he's
too
available,
I still think they're too far away because they're still. I know they're not going to tank as egregiously as they did this year, but they're going to tank without tanking next year. Like, just by playing their guys, they're going to be tanking.
I think Utah is very intriguing going forward. I just found it like
Considering Utah didn't get their tank 1, 2, 3 spot, and all these other 3 teams got there instead. This is a pretty good result for them.
So honestly, and shout out Tony Rosenberg, the lone Utah Jazz fan in the entire TSM building. Since the history of the lottery, Utah has not moved up once.
There you go.
They have not moved up once. So shout out Tony Rosenberg.
Can
for
we,
that
before we go, can we just shout out Wes? Big moment for you in the draft last night, bro. You want to talk about it?
Big moment for me.
Yeah, come on,
For
man.
the culture.
For the culture,
Oh,
man.
yes,
Culture.
from the stands. That was amazing.
What do they call him on social media? Chinese Jokic,
Yeah, man.
Hanson Yang. You know, I was gonna pick Portland at 16 as one of the big losers of the
Yeah,
draft.
but that all changed.
No, because of this pick. So here's my take on it. If your guy that you want is sitting in the 200 level
Roll it,
in
Connor.
Barclays Center, you probably don't need to reach for him. You can wait a little bit. So I like that they traded
Don't
out.
poo-poo this moment.
No. I'm just saying this because I thought the Raptors would get him a 39. So good on them trading down. They got Orlando's first round pick in 2028. They got 2 second rounders. Keep trading back. If this is clearly they wanted this guy. They clearly wanted this guy. Who are they fighting with at 16? Literally, anybody watching this, name me one of the other 29 teams that was like, oh, we're going to take them next.
But we don't know that. We don't know that, right?
Oh, come
Wait,
on,
dude, when you're
man,
the
come on,
Chinese Jokic, have you seen some of these
come
highlights?
on.
No, but
man.
I think what we know is there's a ton of smokescreen. Like heading
Yeah.
into the draft, everyone was like, "Oh, Noah Senge, it's a lock to the Raptors." No, it wasn't.
not a
Well,
lot.
I think though, but I think the whole secret workout, I think that was the classic, like, we're doing a secret workout, but we're telling everybody.
Raps don't leak, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that thing, when they do leak,
Misdirection, man.
yes,
don't trust anyone around the draft.
Yeah.
Just don't trust
So,
what anybody
They've already
says.
had a mock to the Raptors in ninth, but you don't. You can't
Honestly, I'll say this too, with all the way, with how good France is producing athletes, both with soccer and basketball.
Yeah.
I could tonight blindly just draft a French guy, and I'll be like, I'm convinced this guy can be good.
We were talking about that last night.
Did they have 4 first round or 4 or 5 last night?
Brooklyn?
No, I'm saying France. Like
France.
French players go.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was 4.
It was 4.
It was
Like,
4.
it's-
Hold on, better center rotation: Portland or Phoenix?
Portland,
I mean,
for sure.
obviously Portland, they're 4.
Yes.
They're 4 now, which is nuts.
Yeah, but
you know,
Phoenix has Charlotte's center last year, man.
I'm gonna put it out there. You heard some of the RJ stuff about Portland. The dream, if that happens, the Raptors get one of those 4
Yeah,
centers.
that'd be nice.
That's the dream. One of those 4. Donovan McClain.
There's an old saying, man.
Donovan McClain, please.
There's an old saying. You can never have too many centers.
Apparently,
Apparently.
evidently. Oh yeah, and Cooper Flag got drafted first overall.
Yeah,
by the way.
Yeah,
good
yeah,
job.
no big
good job,
deal.
Cooper.
Yeah.
Rigged.
But
Let's just end on that. Catch us on. Oh, sorry. Wait. I'm the people who are still waiting for our breakdown of pick 39. We'll have to get to that next week. So you can catch us on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for watching.